Hey guys, it's me, K0MRD, your radio prepper. Hey Bigfoot, what I'm doing today is I'm going to be going through the no-nonsense technician class license study guide for tests given between July 2018 and June 2020, or 22, sorry. And this was written by Dan Romanechik. I probably butchered the hell out of that, and I'm sorry. His call sign is KB6NU. And I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. I don't need this. There we go. All right. I'm going to give it a few minutes, see if anybody else shows up, or otherwise it's just going to be you and me, Bigfoot. Let me see if there's anybody else. Okay, I've got 3 people watching. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, see if we get other folks in here that's interested. And this is actually how I learned everything for my technician test. Dan, this gentleman, wrote this, the no-nonsense technician, no-nonsense general, and no-nonsense extra. Hey, Jeffrey, thanks for coming in. Paul, how's it going? My computer is being really silly right now. Going super slow. Just got the notification. Yep. No, I know. Take some time, I suppose. Oh, according to YouTube, I've got 7 people watching. Groovy. I'm going to give it till about 5 after, maybe 7, see what's going on. And then we'll really get down and into this. I mean, it's basically the questions and the correct answers. That's all it is. And some people would say, well, that's cheating. No, it's not. The technician and the general class license all have about 400 question pool. And all of those questions are online. You can look them up at qrz.com or any other place that does test prep. Most of those places cost you money to do it. I've decided that since there's been an uptick in people getting into comm, that at least I can, go through the technician study guide and help people achieve their tech license at the very least. Or if they don't want to take the test, they'll know what to do with the radio that they get. And I'm talking about the Bofang UV5Rs and whatever variants. Yeah. And I know there's a bit of a lag between StreamYard and YouTube, so I'm taking that into account. All right, we're right at about 5 after, give or take. So, well, let's get started, shall we? Again, this is the no-nonsense technician class license study guide for tests given between July 2018 and June 2022. Hey, Prepper Wizard. It's written by Dan Romanechik, KB6NU. Who's the six-lander? All right. And there's the copyright info, blah, blah, blah. Table of contents, yada, yada, yada. Scrolling down. All right. What is amateur or ham radio? Amateur radio, also known as ham radio, is a hobby enjoyed by hundreds of thousands of Americans and millions around the world. They enjoy communicating with one another via two-way radios and experimenting with antennas and electronic circuits. Okay, let me clarify something. I knew absolutely nothing about electronics when I started. Nothing. And through learning through this study guide and after I've taken the test, the knowledge you gain is more hands-on. You'll learn a lot more stuff that way. All kinds of people are amateur radio operators, also known as hams. Hams are young, old, men, women, boys, girls. Kids as young as 7 years old who've gotten their amateur radio license, and many hams are active into their 80s and beyond. You never know who you'll run into on the amateur radio band. Point of interest. If anybody knows who Joe Walsh is, from the Eagles, he's a ham radio operator. Walter Cronkite was a ham radio operator. There are a lot of us out there. Young and old, teachers, students, engineers, scientists, doctors, nurses, mechanics, technicians, kings, and entertainers. For example, did you know that most astronauts set up on the ISS in the last 5 to 10 years have been licensed amateur radio operators, and they tend to monitor 2-meter with and talk to people as they go over. Granted, it's only about 6-7 seconds, possibly. Art Bell is a ham. Yeah, I knew that. I have a Yaesu and an ICOM and several UV5R variants. Okay. This is all fluff. All right, let's get down to the meat, shall we? How much does it cost? Basic study materials such as this guide can be had for free, which this one is. And the license exam fee will be $15 or less currently until the FCC decides to raise it again to, I think it's $30 or some such. Once you have your first ham license, most hams find it best to start with simple equipment and grow over time. A handheld VHF FM transmitter can be purchased for less than $30 now. You can get a UV5R for, $25, $27. And you can always get, used equipment at lower prices. But yeah. All right, where do you take the test? Amateur radio license examinations are given by volunteer examiners, or VEs. VEs are licensed amateur radio operators who are trained to administer radio tests. To find out when the VE in your area is giving a test, go to the ARRL website, and I'll put a link in the description later. Using this page, you'll be able to search for test sessions that are close to you. Now, I'm not sure what's happening with the current health situation. They may be putting them off. They may be doing them differently. I'm not really sure. Check with a local ham club. You can find them anywhere. Okay. All right. Okay, more fluff, more fluff. All right. We're getting down to electrical principles. Units and terms, current, voltage, resistance, alternating and direct current, conductors, and insulators. Those of you who work with electricity, and I'm looking at you, Bigfoot, will know some of this stuff, if not all of it. But just bear with me. We'll go through this. And I'm actually going to put a link to this study guide in the description. And that way you can always come back to it and check it out. Hey, North Shore, how's it going? Yes, Prepper Wizard, estate sales, garage sales, etc. All right. Figure 1 shows a simple electric circuit that consists of voltage source, in this case a battery labeled E, a resistor labeled R, and some wires to connect the battery to the resistor. When connected this way, the battery will cause the circuit labeled I to flow. Okay? So here's your battery, here's your resistor, your current's going this way. Okay? Three basic parameters of this circuit are electromotive force, E, current, labeled I, and resistance, labeled R. Electromotive force, or EMF, is a force that causes electrons to flow in a circuit. We use the letter E to denote electromotive force. Electromotive force is measured in volts, and we use capital V to denote this. Okay? Question. What is the electrical term for the electromotive force that causes electrons to flow? And that's T5A05. It's in the question pool. The answer is voltage. Simple. Question. What is the unit of electromotive force? Cool. I like that, Jim. What is the unit of electromotive force? Again, that's T5A11, and the answer is the volt. Question. How much voltage does a mobile transceiver typically require? That's T5A06, and the answer is about 12 volts. Okay? Current is the flow of electrons in a circuit. In figure 1, the letter I stands for the current. Current flows from the positive terminal of the voltage source through the circuit to the negative terminal of the voltage source. Current is measured in amperes. Now we use the letter A to stand for amps, and I hate saying amperes. All right, cool. Question. What is the name for the flow of electrons in an electric circuit? T5A03, and that is current. Question. Electrical current is measured in which of the following units? And that's amperes, or amps. Because of the polarity of the battery, voltage never changes. The current will flow in only one direction through the circuit. We call this direct current, or DC. Question. What is the name for a current that flows in one direction? I just said it. It's direct current. Batteries supply direct current, or simply DC. Resistance is the third parameter. As the name implies, resistance opposes the flow of electrons in a circuit. The higher the resistance, the smaller the current. We use the letter R to stand for resistance. Resistance is measured in ohms, and we use the Greek letter omega to stand for ohms. The type of current you get out of a wall socket is different from the current you get from a battery. Unlike the battery, polarity of the voltage changes from positive to negative and back to positive on a regular basis. In fact, it changes polarity 120 times per second. This means that current changes direction 120 times per second. Because of this, we call this, guess what? Alternating current. Yes, Prepper Wizard. Thank you, Nikola Tesla. Okay. One of the most important parameters of an alternating current is its frequency. The frequency of an alternating current is the number of cycles per second, where a cycle is the time required for an alternating current to go from 0 volts to to its most positive value, then the negative to its most negative value, then positive to 0 volts again. That just made my brain hurt. What term describes the number of times per second that an alternating current makes to make a complete cycle? That would be frequency. Question: what is the unit of frequency? T5C05, and the answer is hertz. 1 hertz is equal to 1 cycle per second. An alternating current reverses polarity twice per cycle, so the frequency of an alternating current available from a wall socket is 60 hertz. Conductors are materials that conduct, obviously, electrical current well, or in other words, have low resistance. We use copper wires to connect a power supply to a radio because copper wires are good conductors. Okay, which of the following is a good electrical conductor? Copper. Silver is actually a better conductor than copper, but copper is a lot less expensive than silver. Often, you'll see gold used as a conductor. Although gold is not a good conductor as either copper or silver, it doesn't corrode like copper or silver. That makes it a good choice for a switch connector contrast. One second. I need to program. North Shore, with your 10 meter, your 10-12 meter, you would just need to tune it manually. It would just be, you turn the dial, listen for somebody broadcasting. Okay. Many times we need material that does not conduct current very well. These materials are called insulators. Insulators have high resistance. Plastic and glass are commonly used as insulators. So the question next is, which is a good electrical insulator? Glass, plastic. Yep, you're welcome. All right, now we're going down to Ohm's law. Formula and usage. Hams obey Ohm's law. Ohm's law is the relationship between voltage, current, and resistance in electrical circuits. When you know any two of these values, you can calculate the third. The most basic equation for Ohm's law is E equals I times R. In other words, when you know the current flowing through the circuit and the resistance of the circuit, you can calculate the voltage across the circuit by multiplying those two values. Okay, what formula is used to calculate the voltage in a circuit? E equals I multiplied by R. Now, using simple algebra, I hated algebra, by the way, I hated it. You can derive the other two forms of this equation. These two equations let you calculate the resistance of the circuit if you know the voltage and current, or the current in the circuit if you know the voltage and resistance. Hey Jeep, how's it going? Question: what formula is used to calculate the resistance of the circuit? R equals E divided by I. Question: what formula is used to calculate current in a circuit? I equals E divided by R. Okay. Now let's look at some examples of how to apply Ohm's law. What is the resistance of a circuit with a current of 3 amps flows through a resistor connected to 90 volts? That would be 30 ohms. Okay. Here's how we calculate it. R equals E divided by I equals 90V divided by 3A equals 30 ohms. What's the resistance of a circuit with which the applied voltage is 12 volts and the current flow is 1.5 amps? The answer is 8 ohms. And that is R equals E divided by I, which equals 12 volts divided by 1.5 amps equals 8 ohms. What's the resistance of a circuit that draws 4 amps from a 12-volt source? The answer is 3 ohms. That is 12 volts divided by 4 amps equals 3 ohms. Now let's look at another form of Ohm's law equation. I equals E divided by R to calculate the current in a circuit. What is the current in a circuit with applied voltage of 120 volts and a resistance of 80 ohms? That would be 1.5 amps. I equals E divided by R, which is 120 volts divided by 80 ohms equals 1.5 amps. A lot of this stuff is really rudimentary, especially if you've been doing electrical work. This stuff is almost, you can do this in your sleep. All right, next question. What is the current through a 100 ohm resistor connected to across 200 volts? The answer is 2 amps. I equals E divided by R, which is 200 V divided by 100 ohms equals 2A. Excuse me. What is the current through a 24 ohm resistor connected across 240 volts? The answer is 10 amps. Give me one quick second. I gotta shut something off. All right. And that is I equals E divided by R, or 240 V divided by 24 ohms equals 10 amps. Now let's look at the third form of Ohm's law equation. E equals I times R to calculate the voltage across the circuit. What is the voltage across a 2 ohm resistor if a current of 0.5 amp flows through it? That is 1 volt. And that is E equals I times R, or 0.5 amps times 2 ohms equals 1 volt. What is the voltage across a 10 ohm resistor if a current of 1 amp flows through it? Answer is 10 volts. 1 amp times 10 ohms equals 10 volts. What's the voltage across a 10 ohm resistor if a current of 2 amps flows through it? That's 20 volts. 2 amps times 10 ohms equals 20 volts. All right, am I boring you people yet? And just let me know, because I'm actually enjoying this. If I am boring you, just say so, and we'll talk about something else. Okay? All right, here we go. Series and parallel circuits. Now let's consider circuits where 2 resistors instead of just a single resistor. There are 2 ways in which 2 resistors can be connected in series or in parallel. Figure 2 shows a series circuit. There's your positive over here, and the charge is going this way, so it's going to go through this resistor first, and then this one second, and then back around, and it keeps doing that because it's a DC. right? The only path for the circuit to flow, I'm sorry, there's only one path for the circuit to flow, so the same current flows through both resistors. And because the voltage across the resistors is equal to I times R, the voltage across each resistor will depend on the value of the resistor. Yes, series add values. If R1 equal R2, then the voltage will be the same across both resistors because the same current flows through both resistors. If R1 does not equal R2, however, the voltages will be different. In either case, the sum of the two voltages will equal the voltage of the voltage source. All right? I need to take a drink of my tea. 1 second. Question. What type of circuit is current, and which type of circuit is current the same through all components? Again, that's series. What happens to a current at the junction of two components in a series? It's unchanged. What's the voltage across two components in a series with a voltage source? It is determined by the type and value of its components. Lady Casca, you're an electrician. You know the stuff we're going over, so you didn't miss much. In a parallel circuit, shown in figure 3, it's right there on your screen, both resistors are connected directly to the voltage source. Okay? The voltage source is this way, so it goes down, back, and then down and back. Right here. Oh. Because both components are connected directly to the voltage source, the voltage across them will be the same. This voltage will cause the currents to flow in each of the resistance. I1 equals V divided by R1, and I2 equals V divided by R2. The total current I is equal to I1 plus I2. If R1 equal R2, then the same current flows through both resistors. If the resistors have different values, then I1 will be different from I2. Question: in which type of circuit is the voltage the same across all components? That would be parallel. What is the voltage across two components in a parallel voltage in parallel with the voltage source? It's the same as the source. So you got a 9-volt battery, you got 9 volts all the way around. What happens to the current at the junction of two components in parallel? It divides them between dependent. It divides between them dependent on the value of the components. So if you've got a 50 ohm resistor and a 10 ohm resistor, there's going to be a difference. DC power, and again we thank Nikola Tesla for this. Power is the rate at which electrical energy is generated or consumed. Power is measured in watts. We use the letter P to stand for power and the letter W to stand for watts. Who da funky? You have two conflicting answers to the same question. Which question is that, Gene? Which type of circuit does the voltage the same across all components in parallel? What's the voltage across components in parallel with the voltage? Here's the voltage. Oh yeah, that solar cycle is ticking up. I never realized that. Type of circuit. Okay, what is the voltage across two components in parallel with the voltage source? Same as the source. What happens to the current at the junction of two parallels? Divides between them dependent on the value of the components. I didn't write it, and these are the correct answers. Where am I going? All right. Which type of circuit is the current the same through all components? That's in series. Two components in series, it's unchanged. That's determined by the source. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay. In series, all right, let me clarify. In series, it stays the same. If they're in parallel, it changes. Again, I didn't write this. I don't, you know. I'm sorry. All right, back to DC. Okay. Which term describes the rate at which electrical energy is used? That's power. Electrical power is measured by which of the following units? That's watts. That's actually somebody's last name. T5813. The type of circuit. Okay. All right. Huh. T5813. Yeah. And which type of circuit is the current same through all components? And that's in series. I think they throw stuff in there just to throw us off. I'm not really sure. All right. To calculate power, we multiply the voltage across the circuit by the current flowing through the circuit. We write the equation P equals E times I. What's the formula used to calculate electrical power in a DC circuit? Power equals voltage multiplied by current. P equals E multiplied by I. How much power is being used in a circuit when the applied voltage is 13.8 volts DC and the current is 10 amps? The answer is 138 watts. Calculation for this is 13.8 volts times 10 amps equals 138 watts. How much power is being used in a circuit when applied voltage is 12 volts DC and the current is 2.5 amps? That would be 30 watts. 12 volts times 2.5 amps equals 30 watts. This is Ohm's law. You can use algebra to come up with other formulas for this equation to calculate the voltage if you know the power and the current, or to calculate the current if you know the power and the voltage. The formula to calculate current if you know the power and the voltage is I equals P divided by E. How many amps are flowing through a circuit when the applied voltage is 12 volts DC and the load is 120 watts? That's 10 amps. And that is I equals P divided by E, or 120 watts divided by 12 volts equals 10 amps. Ha! Now you get to see my new cool logo. Because I had to cut the camera for a minute. In this, sorry. How many amps are flowing in a circuit when applied voltage is 12 volts DC and the load is 120 watts? That's 10 amps. That's I equals P divided by E. 120 watts divided by 12 volts equals 10 amps. All right, now math for electronics and conversions of electrical units. All right. Giga is 1 million. Mega, no, I'm sorry. It's billions. Giga is billions, mega is millions, kilo is thousands. Milli is 1 billionth. Micro is, yep, there's all of the abrasions and numerical values. How many milliamps is 1.5 amps? And the answer is 1500 milliamps. Convert milliamps to milli, you multiply by 1,000. Was another way to specify your radio signal frequency of 1,500,000 hertz. That's 1,500 kilohertz. To convert hertz to kilohertz, you divide by 1,000. How many volts are equal to 1 kilovolt? Kilo is 1,000, so 1,000 volts. How many volts are equal in 1 microvolt? That is 1/1,000,000th of a volt. To convert from kilovolts to volts, you multiply 1,000. To convert from microvolts to volts, you divide by 1,000,000. Which of the following is equal to 500 milliwatts? The answer is 0.5 watts. To convert from milliwatts to watts, divide by 1,000. 500 divided by 1,000, or half, is equal half, or 0.5. How many microfarads are equal to 1,000,000 picofarads? That would be 1 microfarad. Farad is a unit of capacitance. There are 1,000,000 picofarads in a microfarad. If an ammeter calibrated in amps is used to measure a 3,000 milliamp current, what reading would it show? It would be 3 amps. There are 1,000 milliamps in an amp. To convert from milliamps to amps, you divide by 1,000. Okay. What is the proper abbreviation for a megahertz? Capital M, capital H, little z. If a frequency display calibrated in megahertz shows a reading of 3.525 megahertz, what would it show if it were calibrated in kilohertz? That'd be 3525 kilohertz. A lot of this stuff is basic. I mean, I knew jack about it when I started, but with this particular, well, it was a book when I got it. He got it as a PDF. It's for free now. You go through this and you read it and you study it for a while. And then you can take practice tests. And oh, North, I suck at both math and electrical stuff, but here I am. I've been a general now, 3 years. So I'm looking at 13 years in radio, and I'm still learning. So, I mean, this is really great stuff. You guys want me to keep going with this? Okay. All right. Oh, where did I leave off? Megahertz. Okay. Uh, 3525 kilohertz. All right. Which of the following frequencies is equal to 28,400 kilohertz? The answer is 28.400 megahertz, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in the 10-meter band. If a frequency displayed shows a reading of 2425 megahertz, what frequency would that be in gigahertz? That would be 2.425. To convert from megahertz to kilohertz, you multiply by 1,000. To convert from kilohertz to megahertz, or to convert from megahertz to gigahertz, you divide by 1,000. Okay. Decibels. When dealing with ratios, sorry, I misread that, especially power ratios, we often use decibels. That's little d, big D. The reason for this is that the decibel scale is a logarithmic scale, meaning that we can talk about large ratios with relatively small numbers. At this point, you don't need to know the formula used to calibrate or calculate the ratio in decibels, but you do need to know that ratio is represented by values 3 dB, 6 dB, and 10 dB. Question: what is the approximate amount of change measured in decibels if the power increases from 5 watts to 10 watts? The answer is 3 decibels. 3 dB corresponds to a ratio of 2 to 1. And because you're going from 5 watts to 10 watts, doubles the power, we can also say that there's a gain of 3 dB. What is the approximate amount of change measured in decibels of a power decrease from 12 watts to 3 watts? And that answer is negative 6 dB. dB corresponds with a ratio of 4 to 1. And a decrease in power from 12 watts to 3 watts is a ratio of 4 to 1. Because this is a power decrease, the value of dB is negative. Let me do something here real quick. Okay, Bigfoot, you're there. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back with you. All right. I got that set up. Sorry, guys. I had to do some adjusting. Hey, Mike. All right, 6 dB corresponds with the ratio of 4 to 1. Okay, I read that already. Question. What is the amount of change measured in decibels of a power increase from 20 to 200 watts? That is 10 dB. Increasing the power from 20 watts to 200 watts is a ratio of 10 to 1. And 10 dB corresponds with a ratio of 10 to 1. About 13.8 volts, generally, lady. Unless you're using a handheld, and those have they have internal batteries. About 13.8 volts. You can get a basic hobbyist power supply, and yeah, you should be fine. All right. Going on to electronic components and circuit diagrams. Resistors, capacitors, capacitors, inductors, and inducers, inductance, batteries. Resistors are components that, as the name implies, opposes the flow of the current. We use them to control how much current flows through a circuit. Again, I do QRP. I don't technically. I have a QRP radio, so it's only 100 watts. So yeah. We use them to control how much current flows in the circuit. The higher the resistance, the lower the current. Most resistors have a fixed value, specified in ohms, but some are designed to be variable. That is, you can change the resistance of the resistor by turning a shaft or sliding a control back and forth. Variable resistors, are also called potentiometers, are often used to allow users to adjust the way a device operates. Seems simple enough. What electrical component opposes the flow of current in a DC circuit? That would be your resistor. I just read it up there. What type of component is often used as an adjustable volume control? That would be your potentiometer. What electrical parameter is controlled by a potentiometer? And that's resistance. And you guys are going to see something really interesting here. I have a furry black growth on my chest. This is my cat, Go-Go. He's a Bombay. He's only about 17 and a half pounds. Say hi, buddy. Hi. Okay. All right. Another common electrical component is a capacitor. The most basic type of capacitor consists of two metal plates separated by an insulator called a dielectric. When you put a DC voltage across the capacitor, the electric current flows into the capacitor until the voltage across the capacitor equals the DC voltage. This puts a positive charge on the plate and a negative charge. This puts a positive charge on one plate and a negative charge on the other, thereby creating an electric field between the two plates. All right, you gotta go now. You gotta go. He's heavy. What type of electrical component consists of two or more conductive surfaces separated by an insulator? I literally just read it. It's a capacitor. What electrical component stores energy in an electrical field? Again, capacitor. What is the ability to store energy in an electrical field called? And that's capacitance. I probably I'm going to assume I'm saying that correctly. Well, we all have a lot to learn, lady. That's why we're here, to learn from each other, from, from whatever source we can. What is the basic unit of capacitance? The farad. F-A-R-A-D. Farad. Farad. Third most common type of electrical components. Okay. Oh, thank you, lady. Lake Fairy, I really appreciate that. The third most common type of electrical component in an amateur radio equipment is the inducer. Inductor. Inductor. Yeah, okay. Inductors are usually small coils of wire, and when a current flows through that coil of wire, a magnetic field is set up around the coil. That's really cool. What electrical component is constructed of a coil of wire? The inductor. What type of electrical component stores energy in a magnetic field? An inductor. What is the ability to store energy in a magnetic field called? Inductance. What is the basic unit of inductance? That would be the Henry, which is also my grandfather's name, so I can't forget that. Hey Lane, how's it going? And as amateur radio operators, we often use batteries to power our radio equipment. Some types of batteries are rechargeable while others are not. Which of the following battery types are not chargeable? That's your carbon zinc. That's your, this AA battery is the carbon zinc. You don't want to try and charge that because it will explode. Which of the following battery types is rechargeable? All of these are correct. Nickel metal hydride, lithium ion, and lead acid gel cell. Which is interesting because I actually have a lithium ion. Yeah. It's a 3.7 volt lithium ion battery. Looks like a AA. It's slightly larger, but you can recharge this and not worry about it exploding unless you overcharge it, and then you're just dumb. And the lead acid gel cell. I actually have one of those. Let me show you. It's a 9 volt lead acid gel cell battery. I will be making a backup power supply with. I have to get better components because the ones I had kind of crapped out on me. Which, if you're going to build stuff yourself, spend the money for it, don't buy cheap crap because it's just gonna, it'll crap out and then you're stuck with nothing. All right, there are a couple of random questions about other types of components. What electrical component is used to connect or disconnect electrical circuits? The switch. Found this at the dollar store. Little LED emergency light for when power goes out. What electrical component is used to protect other circuit components from current overloads? That's your fuse. Yeah. I remember as a kid we had the little fuses that were about that big and you screwed them into the circuit breaker. Oh my God. That was horrible. All right. Let's say we stop here and use the last hour just to go, talk face to face, go over stuff. Does that sound like a plan to you guys, or do you want me to keep going? One, to keep me going. Two, to have a jaw session. You're welcome, Mike. All right. I got one vote to keep going. All right. Two. All right. Fair enough. Semiconductors, basic principles and applications of solid-state devices, diodes, and transistors. Diodes are the most basic semiconductor component. They have only two electrodes, called the anode and cathode, and conduct current only when it's forward biased. That is to say, diodes only conduct current when the voltage on the anode is positive with respect to the cathode. When the diode is reverse biased, i.e. when the voltage on the anode is negative with respect to the cathode, the diode will not conduct current. Okay? What electronic, where's my mouse? There it is. What electronic component allows the current to flow only in one direction? That would be your diode. What are the names of two electrodes of a diode? The anode and cathode. How is the cathode lead of a semiconductor diode often marked on the package? With a stripe. Good to know. Light-emitting diodes, or LEDs, are a particular type of diode. When current flows through them, they emit visible light, making them useful as indicators as part of digital readouts. This light consists of, 24 LEDs. This is 24 LEDs, and it's bright as hell. All right. Question: what does the abbreviation LED stand for? That would be your light emitting diode. There it is, right there. Which of the following is commonly used as a visual indicator? That's your LED. Here, on one of my, here, give me this one. On your radios, Bofang, this is the BFR3 tri-bander. It's 2 meters, 70 centimeter, and 1.5 meters. You can see the visual, you can see the backlight. That's an LED right there. All LED. And I guess somebody is trying to communicate. No, I'm sorry, that was me. I kerchunk, which is actually a bad habit. You get a radio and you get your license and you start dabbling around, don't just randomly hit the push to talk button, because that's considered a kerchunk, and it really upsets people. All right. Transistors are semiconductor components designed to control the current that flows through them. They have free leads, and one of these leads is used as a control pin. A current, in the case of the bipolar junction transistor, or voltage, in this case, of the field effect transistor, on the control pin controls the current of flow between the other two pins. That didn't make any damn sense. Let me try that again. Transistors are semiconductor components designed to control the current of flow through them. they have 3 leads, and one of those leads is used as a control pin. A current, in the case of a bipolar junction transistor, or voltage, in the case of the field effect transistor. On the control pin controls the current flow between the other 2 pins. I hope that made sense the second time around. In some circuits, the transistor is used as a switch, and control signal simply switches the current on and off. In other circuits, the transistor is used as an amplifier. When used as an amplifier, the current through the transistor is proportional to the input current or voltage. The ratio of output current to input current is called the gain of the transistor. Question: what class of electronic components uses a voltage or current signal to control current flow? That would be your transistor, your old transistor radio. You old timers remember those. I remember them. I had one. Wish I still had the damn thing. Which of these components can be used as an electronic switch or amplifier? And that is, again, the transistor. Which of the following electronic components can amplify signals? The transistor. What is the term that describes the device's ability to amplify a signal? That would be a gain. Simple terms, especially with the both ends. Power source, your power button, is also your volume gain. Okay. Which of the following could be a primary gain producing component in an RF power amplifier? Your transistor. Bipolar junction transistors are made up of layers of semiconductor material that are either p-type, which means they are positive, it has a positive net charge, or an n-type, which means it has a net negative charge. Each layer has an electrode, making the transistor a device with 3 leads. There are 2 types of bipolar junction transistors: PNP, or, I said 3, there are 2 types, 2 types of bipolar junction transistors: PNP, Papa November Papa, or November Papa November. A PNP transistor has 2 P layers with an N layer sandwiched between them. Conversely, an NPN transistor has 2 N layers with a P layer sandwiched between them, which makes sense to me. Which of the following components can consist of 3 layers of semiconductor material? The transistor. Another type of transistor often found in amateur radio equipment is the field effect transistor, or FET, Foxtrot Echo Tango. To control the flow of current through the field effect transistor, you use a voltage signal on the control pin. The voltage sets up an electrical field inside the transistor, hence the name field effect. FETs, like NPNs and PNPs, have 3 leads. What does the abbreviation FET stand for? That would be your field effect transistor. A good thing to remember, and I've used the phonetic alphabet here because my P's and N's and all of that. It would be good practice to have a basic working knowledge of the phonetic alphabet. And I think I have that somewhere, so I will put it in the description later. All right. All right. Circuits, diagrams, schematic symbols, and component functions. Huh. Okay. When describing circuits on paper, we draw diagrams called schematic diagrams that show the components used in a circuit and how those components are connected together. Using schematic diagrams lets us describe how a circuit works and lets us reproduce a circuit more easily. Yeah, they are pretty cool. Where did I? The circuit components are represented by symbols that readily identify the type of component and its value or part number. Question: what is the name of an electrical wiring diagram that uses standard component symbols? Lady Casca, you just said it. It's the schematic. What do symbols on electrical schematic represent? Electrical components. It should be fairly obvious. Which of the following is accurately represented in electrical schematics? The way components are interconnected. As figure T1. Well, that's something else. Okay, sorry. Figure T1 is a schematic diagram of a simple transistor circuit. In the circuit, the transistor is used as a switch that turns on a lamp when positive voltage is applied to the input. Okay? In component 1, I'm sorry, what is component 1 in figure T1? That would be this one right here. And that is your resistor. Okay? Its function is to limit the input current. What is component 2 in figure T1? Right here, the big circle in the middle. That would be your transistor because it changes, off and on. What is the function of component 2 in figure T1? Control the flow of current. What is component 3 in figure T1? 3, right here, is the lamp. Because that's what it says right there. What is component 4 in figure T1? Yes, transistor is a switch. Component 4, right here, is the battery. Okay? Battery supplies the current that lights the lamp. The circuit shown in figure T2 is a simple power supply. Component 2 is a fuse. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but yeah. What type of switch is represented by component 3 in figure T2? Right here is a single pole, single throw. It turns the power supply on and off. What is component 4 in figure T2? Right, yeah. That would be the transformer, right? Can I do that right? Yeah, the transformer. What component is commonly used to change 120 volt AC house current to a lower AC voltage for other uses? That would be your transformer. Component 5 in figure T2 is a rectifier diode. Rectifier diodes are designed to handle higher currents found in power supply circuits. Go back up here. That would be this right here. Okay. Which of the following devices or circuits changes an alternating current into varying direct current signal? That would be your rectifier. Again, figure 5, right here. What is component 6 of figure C2? So we got right here. And that is the capacitor. Sometimes this is called a filter capacitor, and its function is to filter out remnants of the 60 Hertz AC that are part of the varying direct signal. What is component 8 of figure T2? Going back up, this here, your light emitting diode. The LED is a pilot light. 1 second.
Hello, sweetie.
Hello? No, what's up? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My legs hurt. Huh? Yeah. I'm gonna do another one later. I didn't go today, but I planned on going. But yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do the yoga tonight. It seemed to help me sleep better too. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Everybody's being nice and everything. Everybody's being nice. Okay, that's good. All right. Yeah. No, I got 0 sugar ginger ale. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. Yeah. Let me check. 1 second. It is actually in front of the footstool. Yeah. All right. Okay. And I'll see. I'll take care. Cool. Right. Okay, cool. All righty. Love you too. Bye. I am so sorry about that, guys. Anytime my mother has a doctor's appointment, they have to let me know because I'm her POA. It gets to be a bit of a PIA. Anyway, where do we leave off? Light emitting diode. The LED is a pilot light serving to alert the user when the power supply is on. What is component 9 in figure T2? That's a variable resistor. And that looks like right here. Okay. Its purpose is to limit the output current of the supply. Okay. Circuit shown in T3 is the output circuit of a transmitter. What is component 3 in figure T3? That's a variable inductor. There are two variable capacitors in this circuit. Component 2 is an unlabeled component. Which of the following is combined with an inductor to make a tuned circuit? That would be a capacitor. Which of the following is a resonant tuned circuit? An inductor and a capacitor connected in series or parallel to form a filter. All right, when a capacitor and an inductor are connected in series, the circuit has very low impedance at the resonant frequency. When the capacitor and inductor are connected in parallel, the circuit has very high impedance at the resonant frequency. What is component 4 in figure T3? I'm going to give you a quick hint, but I'm not going to say anything. This part of the radio, your antenna. Yep, the antenna. All right. All right, and this is where we're going to stop for today because I don't want to go over the 2-hour mark and I can keep going with this all day, but you know, I want this to count for something. I will try to do a live on Thursday and pick up where we left off. If that is cool with everybody, it'll be in the evening, probably about 5:30 for an hour. And I hope this helps people. I really do. And I'm going to continue this until we get through it, and then we can, you know, possibly get people ready to take the test if they so choose. And here is the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come up. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, and I'm trying not to monopolize the time, but you know, if this helps anybody at all, I will be very happy. And like I said, once I set this up to replay, I'll have links in the description. And if anybody wants to come on up, come on up. Hey, Jim, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Ha 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 ha. Trust, get your butt up here. Never thought I never in a million years did I ever think I would be doing something like this. This is really cool. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
What's going on, Trust?
How's it going, buddy?
It's good. How are you guys doing? You guys starting to thaw down there?
Yeah, finally. It's like 50 something right now, which is nice.
I thought we were doing good at 30.
Yeah. When I only got to 34 we're late last night, I was like, yes. Don't have to worry about the water freezing.
Yeah, it was nice enough. I went and got my car washed.
Well, I won't go that far yet.
Well, I had to get the salt off the damn thing.
Oh, look at that. Ronald's in here. I wasn't paying attention to chat. I had you on my TV, so I couldn't respond if there was.
Oh, okay.
I switched over to the computer when you said you're. But that was pretty good.
Thank you. We're at page 28 of 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you did warn us it was going to be in parts. There's no way you can finish it all unless you're going to do an all-day event. So.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to cook dinner here in a little bit, and my wife will be coming home. She's going to walk today because it's nice. So, I mean, she's only up the road maybe half a mile.
Yeah.
Told her I'll come get her. She said, no, I'll walk. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, she's walking?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
She must really be enjoying the day with the weather. I'm like, no, I'm gonna been trapped inside. Oh, there you are. Yeah. I figured you were getting your cat to scare me.
Nope.
No.
All right, Poet. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, this is actually kind of fun.
Well, come on, Lady Casca.
Come on, lady. You know you want to. This link is up there. Anybody else wants to come up? I can hold, what is it, 6?
Yeah.
Too broke to pay for it?
Yep.
Which is why it's got that StreamYard logo instead of one of my cool logos. Whatever.
Oh, that's easy, Lady Casca. I'll show you. You just need 2 wires. You need a hot wire and you need a ground. Make sure one's red and one's freaking black. And I'll tell you what should have put your tongue on when you connect all the power.
That's how I used to check 9-volt batteries. Oh, okay. I got a charge.
Yeah.
This is not alcohol. It's actually tea.
Oh, okay. It's the peaceful. Yeah. I hadn't seen those in a long time. I see the regular ones, but I never see
That's zero sugar.
I call them the Grateful Dead teas. So they used to sell them. They used to sell them at our drug emporium store, but they stopped doing it. They just sell the regular ones now.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I like those a lot better.
Do you need a copper wire to ground? Depending on what you're talking about, for like an antenna, yes, a copper wire 8 foot into the ground actually helps. It helps with lightning strikes.
That'd be a whole lot easier. You came up here, Lady Casca.
Sure would.
Come on. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Just a stupid student. Look, and the student's already here, so the rest of y'all are good. You even got my dunce hat on. Oh, like you've been doing anything all day long, but just listening to Comrade. Come on.
Listen to me rattle on for an hour and 20 minutes. Link is there.
She's just embarrassed. She's still in her PJs, I bet.
That's okay. Y'all are lucky I put a shirt
You're
on.
not. Yeah, she's cleaning my butt.
Oh,
What's 5 minutes of your day? You know, when this ends and we all leave, you're going to be like, damn, I should have gone on there.
I got it.
Yeah. You're going to have all that regret.
Oh, cool. That would take me all of 20 minutes because I live in a one bedroom.
Yeah.
And my kitchen is tiny.
If I reorganize my kitchen to be the trash can or it's in its place, one of the two. That's it. Which I got to do. I got to
Don't
get.
know how hand radio will work. Meaning what?
She just wants to smoke. She's outside smoking instead. She doesn't want to see that.
Yeah. No, my cat is sleeping on a chair next to me, practically camouflaged because it's my wife's office chair and it's black,
Uh-huh.
so it's he. And if you don't look and you go to sit down, you're going to sit down. But he'll let you know he's there.
So you get. When are you doing the next one?
Probably Thursday evening, about 5:30.
Okay. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. So my newest toy, it looks like a UV5R, but it's actually a tri-bander.
Uh-huh.
2 meter, 70 centimeter, 1.5 meter, 1.25 meter. So,
Yeah. Oh, not me.
yeah.
I ain't got one to transmit yet. Right now, I just got my little weather alert ones, and
Hey.
I still need to program this one. Again,
Information in is information in.
yeah.
Yeah.
My home base one was a big help when the power went out. Everybody
there
should
you go.
at least have one.
Yep.
But I got two of these that I got for free. Somebody was throwing away. And I got one to work, and I don't know how. I just put the batteries in there. I mean, you could run power instead of the batteries, but for some reason, this one I can't get. So I got to find the thing online to see why this one's not just turning on and broadcasting right off the bat. I don't know how to program it to pick up whatever signal it is. So, but hey, they're portable. And I can put one in the car and put one in the garage, and I got one everywhere in case weather hits. So,
Yep.
But
absolutely, Jim. You are more than welcome to come in anytime.
I think everybody was scared you're going to start asking questions. Okay.
No.
The first part of the oral test is I'd be like, what's your name? Lady Casca? Wrong.
Cool. Jim, I would suggest if you don't have one, get the programming table and use Chirp. It's a lot easier than doing it by the face. It can be done on the radio itself. What's the range when you're around neighborhoods with houses all the way? About 1.5 miles, possibly 2. And that's because they're all FM. Slightly better than like the range on your bubble pack radios that they got at Walmart. You know what I'm talking about?
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
They're putting up this big old metal tower. Well, they've had it up. They haven't freaking put anything on top of it for transmitting. I guess it's gonna be for 5G. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If I had one of your radios, went over there and touched the antenna to the metal, would it pick up a further distance by using that pole?
No.
Hey, I'm just gonna ask. I know somebody's thinking about it. I'll ask the stupid question.
No, it's two different. They're all radio signals, but if you touch an antenna while you're transmitting, if you touch your antenna to anything metal, it's not going to work.
Okay.
You'll probably screw up the radio itself.
Well, I'd rather Aska look stupid here than them doing it and ruin the radio. So
Yeah.
That's why there's no such thing as stupid radio. I mean, a stupid question.
No, absolutely not. I need something that will reach about 7 miles with structures in between them. A good radio, which is what you guys recommended. Okay. Yeah, Jim's got this one.
Yeah. And I was gonna say if it's set up in the house, you should be able to get a good one. But
Oh yeah,
I don't know about the handhelds.
my 2 meter is 65 watts, and I can reach out from my basement, from my apartment, which is on the first floor in a brick building. I can reach out 15 miles on medium power. How do you boost the signal? Get an amplifier. They have small inline amplifiers for handhelds that you can get on Amazon. This is my wife calls this my my comfort stick. A cold steel tomahawk. And I'll sit here and just hold it. Got the sheath on it, so I'm not going to cut anything. But I'll sit here and play with it all day.
They start calling you Mohican Man.
Well, I am part Cherokee. But I think everybody in the country is at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you guys are warming up pretty good out there. Pipes,
Yeah.
Any of your pipes freeze over or anything?
Luckily, none of mine, and one of my sons, his bathroom one did, but I don't know. He hasn't contacted me, so every time he has a plumbing problem, he tells me about it, and I keep telling him, well, when you're home, let me know. I'll go fix it for you. And then he calls his mom, tells her, she turns around and sends a plumber. So, hey, if she's going to pay for the bill, she can pay for the bill then.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have freaking done the same work. I mean, I'm not a freaking straight out plumber, but I know what to do on those situations. I've lived long enough on a ranch that you got to fix the stuff yourself. So the only difference is there won't be no $800 bill and they tear into the wall and all that too. So
I could tear into a wall for free.
Yeah, especially with your tomahawk.
It's about as big as a drywall hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So why not?
Yeah, but they'll do what they do.
Yeah.
He'll just turn around and owe his mom more money. And I'm like, hey, you wouldn't owe your mom more money. You just freaking, I would have fixed it. I would have paid for it. And you'd say thank you and say, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
That's what dads do. He just can't get used to it. Now his brother, on the other hand, he knows to call me first if he wants it cheap.
Yeah.
But,
yep. So otherwise, how's everything down there?
Good. Prices on everything's gone freaking sky high.
Oh yeah.
Food, gas, everything.
Yeah.
But
That's three.
I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw that video they're showing about HEBs down here. There's a mess load of people trying to buy before the freezes came in and all that. Now I want to say it was in San Antonio or Houston, one of the two there. Can't remember which city. But the power went out of HEB and people were waiting and they told everybody get in the freaking checkout line. They set up a checkout line and all that. Because the power was out to get everybody out there, and people were wondering how are we going to pay if there's no power. They're just bagging their food and letting them go out the door. They didn't even charge them, and those people had one or two baskets of loads of food.
Well, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's good business because without power, it'll just go bad.
Yeah.
You know, if they can take it home and keep it, cool,
Yep.
keep it refrigerated, then hey, why
Yeah.
not?
That's why I like that grocery store more than Walmart. I mean, Walmart might do it, but HEB's always been about the community. So, of course, I'm never the lucky one being there when they do that stuff, but
Yeah.
So everybody that has gardens ready to go in the spring and waiting to everything to thaw out, good for you, because everything, tomatoes, you name it, all the produce is going up because the Texas farmers sure got hit. Beef's going to be going up. They lost animals in this freeze. And so, yeah, when you see the prices go up, everybody's going to be like, Then they're going to realize that Texas had most of the stuff going on instead of California. Every time California has a drought or something, they raise prices just because of that fact. They're like, what do they grow in California? I mean, I've really not bought anything that was labeled California on it, so I don't know what they grow, but it should have made beef prices go up.
Yeah. Hey, I put a banner up.
Yeah, Lady Cask, I'm gonna have to use that Braveheart thing on you. So the Lord says I'm okay, but the rest of y'all are. You can fill in the blank on that part because you got to wait till May. I don't think you can be able to do it in May either. I think you're gonna have to wait till middle June. I just have that funny feeling this year.
Lady, where are you? In the country. You don't have to give me specifics.
Oh, now she doesn't want to say her location. She's trying to be like Harriet the Spy.
That's it. Oh, yeah, no. May, late May, maybe early June. I didn't realize you were north of me. Yay. Hi, neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck on those trucks rolling.
Minnesota. Yeah, those guys have got it tough.
Yeah, once they open up those roads, they're going to be filling up Texas.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the freaking governor doesn't say, tell all DPS officers, do not pull over an 18-wheeler. Let them go.
Let them go through.
Get that food in.
Get the National Guard out there guarding the highway. Just keep going. Yep. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always believe they should have one specific highway, and we have hazardous highways for the hazardous loads, but they should have always had one section sort of separated from the regular highway, specifically just for 18-wheelers.
Well, they have them here. They're called truck routes.
Well, we have truck routes too, but freaking stupid people get a ride there too, along with the truckers, and that just slows everything down. So,
and then somebody wants to brake check a semi with a full load. Good luck.
Yep.
I've seen that happen, and I've seen the result.
Well, yeah, go ahead and brake check it, because I guarantee you your bumper is going to fail you. If I was a trucker, I wouldn't even brake. I just freaking keep going and push them off the road.
Yep.
That's what a shoulder's for, lady.
Put a crunch bar on the front of that truck. Yeah. Put a cattle catcher. There you go.
But so, what are you cooking for dinner tonight?
Tonight, I'm going to have bacon wrapped asparagus with pork cutlets and a side salad.
Oh man, that sounds good. I really don't eat asparagus. I've never had asparagus, but I'm willing to try it because it sounds good.
If you bake it in the oven and then you either wrap bacon over it, or you wrap bacon around it, or you layer bacon over it. It is really good. Yeah. Growing up, I couldn't stand asparagus because my mom always got canned, and that was horrible, and it was squishy and nasty. But we got 6 pounds of asparagus today.
Oh, did you do that load?
Yep.
The
Yep.
2-week load or whatever? Okay.
Yep.
Man, I wish we had that here. That is so awesome.
Oh yeah. They had police guarding dumpsters because stores were throwing away food, but because people can sue them if they get sick, they can't give it away.
Well, they're smart. They have dumpsters that they can lock, and the cops don't have to guard the freaking dumpsters.
Oh, people like me would come by with bolt cutters and unlock them.
Yeah, and then that's where the cops need to show up. So that was completely intent theft right there.
Yeah.
He broke the lock.
But if they're throwing it away, why not just give it away, like ATV did?
Yeah,
Power's
HB gets
out.
to the food bank before it goes bad.
Yeah, power goes out. Just get in line. Get in line.
Yeah.
Line up, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see. Well, I just want to say thank you for doing this. I was waiting for it. I was 5 minutes late, but that was because I was trying to freaking get my TV reorganized. So steam cleaning the carpet, but noticed the time. But got on there and was able to listen and watch. So,
well, I'm glad you were able to check it out.
Yeah. And I figured out I could watch the first 5 minutes after, when you have the stream up. So, not a big thing.
Well, Lady Casper, you are most welcome. Thank you for coming in. Thank everybody for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I hope it helped. I really do.
Well, it was very informative. I believe it did.
Yeah.
I think it's going to become more commonplace.
That's true.
Yeah, Jim. We've been warning about it, and now you're starting to see it.
Mm-hmm. Food riots and water riots, and it's like a bad 80s sci-fi flick unfolding in front of us.
Yeah. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. People are always like, well, I got this much water, but I also have a creek over here, this or that. And I was like, well, if you read the Bible, the Bible's basically forecast how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get to Revelation, they cover the part about wormwood. It's going to come down and it's going to freaking turn 1/3 of the earth's fresh water to wormwood, which is bitter. And you're not going to want to drink it because you're going to get sick and die. It even has it in the Bible. But what 1/3 of the fresh water is the water source you're having as plan B part of that? You don't know. So you have to have another plan in case that one does.
You're absolutely right, lady. Any disruption will have a cascading effect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because most stores only have 3 days supply on hand. Once that's gone and the trucks stop running, people are going to start getting desperate. And that's when, shit like Mad Max kicks off.
Yeah. When you see and when stuff gets bad, you can see 18-wheelers with people riding shotgun with actual shotguns, protecting the load, just try to get across town.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember the gas shortage in the 70s.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad I was driving during the 70s. It was bad enough being a passenger waiting in the line to get gas.
Yeah. I wasn't but, knee-high to a grasshopper at that point.
Yeah. Because I was like, okay, if we can't get gas or we're out of gas, I'm walking. I had comfortable shoes on. I didn't have to worry about it. I'm not the driver having to worry about where I'm going to put my car. How to get back here when I do get gas to get the car.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a little bit more worse situation, Lady Casket, for the location you're at, and because you're single with kids. That makes it a whole lot harder on you. So more power to you.
Yeah.
Me, my backup plan, I got my bicycle. All right, well, I'll get off here. Thank you for letting me be on here. I know you need to get ready to start cooking before the wifey gets home. Or she'll be like, what have you been doing all day?
Yeah, for real.
No, but all right. You're a godsend. Stay blessed, buddy, and we will see you when we see you.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
All right,
You guys,
thank
I
you.
am going to cut this short. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday. And stay blessed. Keep prepping. This is Tay Zero MRD, your radio prepper, and I'm out.